Chapter 6 HTML, Images, Links and Frames. Concept Note: Images are used in the web pages to enhance website, to illustrate stories, to display ads, to present products or services, etc. Frames allows the user to view multiple documents within a single web page. Learning outcomes: Children will be able to understand the importance of images and frames, learn how to create marquee. Neha: Hey Tia, have you ever wondered how web pages display images and links to other websites? Tia: Yeah, I have always been curious about that. How do they do it? Neha: Well, it's done using HTML, the language that web pages are built with. You just need to use the img tag and specify the image's source. Tia: That sounds simple. And what about links? Neha: HTML lets you create links to other web pages using the A tag. Tia: Great! But what are frames in HTML? Neha: Frames allow you to split a web page into multiple sections, each displaying a different web page. Tia: Thanks, Neha. HTML seems like a powerful tool for building web pages. Neha: You're welcome, Tia. It is sure, and there's a lot more to explore as we dive deeper into HTML. Images play a crucial role in web design and can significantly enhance the user experience of a website. 90% of all information that we perceive and that gets transmitted to our brains is visual. Images can help you to attract attention and to guide your visitor's line of sight. In HTML, we can insert images and make our web page more attracting. Images are used in the web pages to enhance website, to illustrate stories, to display ads, to present products or services, etc. Inserting image. Images can be easily inserted at any section in an HTML page. To insert image in an HTML page, use the img tags. It is an empty tag containing only attributes since the closing tag is not required. You should use the img tag inside body/body tag. The scr attribute is used to add the image source, that is, URL, Uniform Resource Locator of the image. The alt attribute is for adding alternate text. img src is equal to URL, alt is equal to sum_text. The following example inserts 3 images on the web page. Image src is equal to kites.jpg, alt is equal to flying kites. Image src is equal to sky.jpg, alt is equal to cloudy sky. Image src is equal to balloons.jpg, alt is equal to balloons. Code example: Width and height of an image. The width and height attributes are used to specify the width and height of an image. The values of these attributes are interpreted in pixels by default. Syntax: Image src is equal to URL, alt is equal to sum_text, width is equal to width, height is equal to height. Example. Code example: Alignment of image. By default, image will align at the left side of the page, but you can use align attribute to set it in the center or right. Syntax: Image src is equal to URL, alt is equal to sum_text, align is equal to alignment. Vertical alignment. Align is equal to top aligns to the top, middle aligns to the middle, bottom aligns to the bottom, default. Floats image. Left image. The image floats to the left. The text aligns to the right of the image. Right. The image floats to the right. The text aligns to the left of the image. Code example: aligns to the top, output. Aligns to the middle, output. Aligns to the bottom, output. Aligns to the left, output. Aligns to the right, output. Border of image. By default, image will have a border around it. You can specify border thickness in terms of pixels using border attribute. A thickness of 0 means no border around the picture. Syntax. Image src is equal to URL, alt is equal to sum underscore text, border is equal to sum underscore value. Attribute border is equal to value pixels explanation the size of the border. Code example. Output. Creating marquee. An HTML marquee is a scrolling piece of text displayed either horizontally across or vertically down your web page depending on the settings. This is created by using HTML marquees tag. Syntax. A simple syntax to use HTML marquee tag is as follows. Marquee attribute underscore name is equal to attribute underscore value more attributes, one or more lines or text message or image, / marquee. Code example. This will produce the following result. The text will be scrolling from right to left in the output. The marquee tag attributes. The following is the list of important attributes which can be used with marquee tag. Serial number, attribute, description. 1. Width. This specifies the width of the marquee. This can be a value like 10 or 20%, etc. 2. Height. This specifies the height of the marquee. This can be a value like 10 or 20%, etc. 3. Direction. This specifies the direction in which marquee should scroll. This can be a value like up, down, left or right. 4. Behavior. This specifies the type of scrolling of the marquee. This can have a value like scroll, slide and alternate. 5. Scroll delay. This specifies how long to delay between each jump. This will have a value like 10, etc. 6. Scroll amount. This specifies the speed of marquee text. This can have a value like 10, etc. 7. Loop. This specifies how many times to loop. The default value is infinite, which means that the marquee loops endlessly. 8. BG color. This specifies background color in terms of color name or color hex value. 9. H space. This specifies horizontal space around the marquee. This can be a value like 10 or 20%, etc. 10. V space. This specifies vertical space around the marquee. This can be a value like 10 or 20%, etc. Code example. This will produce the following result. This example will take only 50%. This text appears from the center 50% of the screen and scrolling from right to left in the output. Linking web pages. A link or hyperlink is a connection from one web resource to another. Links allow users to move seamlessly from one page to another or any server anywhere in the world. By default, links will appear as follows in most of the browsers. An unvisited link is underlined and blue. A visited link is underlined and purple. An active link is underlined and red. HTML link syntax. Links are specified in HTML using the A tag. A link or hyperlink could be a word, group of words or image. Syntax. Ahref is equal to URL link text /a. Anything between the opening A tag and the closing /A tag becomes the part of the link that the user sees and clicks in a browser. Here are some examples of the links. Example: output, frames. Frames allows the user to view multiple documents within a single web page. HTML frames are used to divide your browser window into multiple sections where each section can load a separate HTML document. A collection of frames in the browser window is known as a frame set. The window is divided into frames. In a similar way, the tables are organized into rows and columns. Creating frames. To use frames on a page, we use frame set tag instead of body tag. The frame set tag defines how to divide the window into frames. The rows attribute of frame set tag defines horizontal frames and column attribute defines vertical frames. Each frame is indicated by frame tag and it defines which HTML document shall open into the frame. Code example. The following is the example to create 3 horizontal frames. Output. The frame set tag attributes. The following are important attributes of the frame set tag. Serial number, attribute, description. 1. Columns. Specifies how many columns are contained in the frame set and the size of each column. You can specify the width of each column in one of the 4 ways. Absolute values in pixels. For example, to create 3 vertical frames, use columns is equal to 100, 500, 100. A percentage of the browser window. For example, to create 3 vertical frames, use columns is equal to 10%, 80%, 10%. Using a wildcard symbol. For example, to create 3 vertical frames, use columns is equal to 10%, asterisk, 10%. In this case, wildcard takes remainder of the window. As relative widths of the browser window. For example, to create 3 vertical frames, use columns is equal to 3 asterisks, 2 asterisks, 1 asterisk. This is an alternative to percentages. You can use relative widths of the browser window. Here the window is divided into 6. The first column takes up half of the window, the second takes 1/3 and the third takes 1/6. 2. Rows. This attribute works just like the columns attribute and takes the same values, but it is used to specify the rows in the frame set. For example, to create 2 horizontal frames, use rows is equal to 10%, 90%. You can specify the height of each row in the same way as explained above for columns. 3. Border. This attribute specifies the width of the border of each frame in pixels. For example, border is equal to 5. A value of 0 means no border. 4. Frame border. This attribute specifies whether a 3-dimensional border should be displayed between frames. This attribute takes value either 1, yes, or 0, no. For example, frame border is equal to 0 specifies no border. 5. Frame spacing. This attribute specifies the amount of space between frames in a frame set. This can take any integer value. For example, frame spacing is equal to 10 means there should be 10 pixels spacing between each frame. Code example. The frame tag attributes. The following are the important attributes of frame tag. Serial number, attribute, description. 1. src. This attribute is used to give the file name that should be loaded in the frame. Its value can be any URL. For example, src is equal to /html/top_frame.htm will load an HTML file available in HTML directory. 2. Name. This attribute allows you to give a name to a frame. It is used to indicate which frame a document should be loaded into. This is especially important when you want to create links in one frame that load pages into another frame. In that case, the second frame needs a name to identify itself as a target of the link. 3. Frame border. This attribute specifies whether or not the borders of that frame are shown. It overrides the value given in the frame border attributes on the frame set tag if 1 is given, and this can take values either 1, yes, or 0, no. 4. Margin width. This attribute allows you to specify the width of the space between the left and right of the borders of the frame and the content of the frame. The value is given in pixels. For example, margin width is equal to 10. 5. Margin height. This attribute allows you to specify the height of the space between the top and bottom of the borders of the frame and its contents. The value is given in pixels. For example, margin height is equal to 10. 6. No resize. By default, you can resize any frame by clicking and dragging on the borders of the frame. The no resize attribute prevents a user from being able to resize the frame. For example, no resize is equal to no resize. 7. Scrolling. This attribute controls the appearance of the scroll bars that appear on the frame. This takes value either yes or no or auto. For example, scrolling is equal to no means it should not have scroll bars. 8. Long disk. This attribute allows you to provide a link to another page containing a long description of the contents of the frame. For example, long disk is equal to frame description.htm. Flashback. ing tag is used to insert image in an HTML page. HTML support PNG, JPEG or GIF image file extension. Attributes of image tag are src, alt, width, height, border, etc. Marquee is a scrolling piece of text displayed either horizontally across or vertically down. Frames are used to divide your browser window into multiple sections where each section can load a separate HTML document. A collection of frames in the browser window is known as frame set. Frame tag is used for frames.